So this bears repeating. Now, look, there were many times on this program where we criticized President Obama for his drone campaign and for the targeted assassinations, both on moral grounds and on the grounds that when you set up a system where you use certain types of intelligence that make certain assumptions about the targets that you lock onto, you end up killing a lot of civilians, and you end up creating, you end up terrorizing populations, and it becomes self-defeating. Daily Beast reports today that the civilian casualties from the U.S.-led war against the so-called Islamic State are on pace to double under President Donald Trump. It's according to an Airwars investigation for the Daily Beast. Airwars researchers estimate that at least 2,300 civilians died from coalition strikes overseen by the Obama White House, roughly 80 a month in Iraq and Syria. As of July 13th, more than 2,200 additional civilians appeared to have been killed by coalition raids since Trump was inaugurated. So basically, Donald Trump has killed more people in that specific region than Obama did in the entire time he was president. And there's plenty of reason to believe that this dynamic is going to play out sometime shortly in Yemen, because the Trump administration has already made it clear that, just from a process standpoint, they are loosening the restrictions on the military that purport to protect civilians. So now maybe it's not shoot when you see the whites of their eyes, but now when you're just convinced they have eyes. So we're going to see more of this. Again, I'll make the point that I made during the Obama years, which is not to in any way forgive this, but it's better than a land war. George Bush killed 100, 120, 130 times more civilians were killed as a function of his escapades. 200, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people died.
Yeah, and I just think that that this is another thing we pointed out during the election. Like, basically what Trump was overall promising to do was just a more violent, reckless version of what Obama was doing, which was a major problem to begin with. Like, people would isolate these things that he would say, where he would critique the invasion of Iraq or whatever. And yeah, I guess from that perspective, he was saying, and obviously he could break any of his words at any moment, we shouldn't have more ground invasions. But then when he was talking about, bombing the shit out of people, he was basically just saying, do what Obama's doing, just without any limits. So it's another area where people need to take responsibility.
We have expanded our force in Afghanistan by 4,000 people. I mean,
and
we're
the
only
next
6
phase
months
is to make
into
it,
this.
And the next phase, well, look, and he just had the meeting with Eric Princeton,
right.
a guy from DynCorp. That's the new plan, is just turned it into
Mercenary
handed
force.
over to mercenary force.
And to allow them to raise their own funds by basically taking taxes. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Well, it kind of really
protection racket.
Yeah, it makes the fact that it's really a heroin war a lot clearer, right?
What we really are interested in is perhaps having this territory for us And then we kick back a little bit to you. Everybody's happy. Boom, boom, boom.
The Taliban is a fucking totalitarian regime. We're trying to let the little broads go to school.
But so there you
Gotta
have it.
protect the heroin rackets.
If you've got a sound drop, I'll take it now. But there you have it. Donald Trump successfully killing more people in Iraq and Syria
You know which sound
in
drop.
just 7 months as opposed to Barack Obama's 8 years. Of course, he's outdone by Russian bombing, but nevertheless, still an accomplishment. I'm sure people are very, very proud in the White House of that achievement.
You know, I voted for the candidate who had a Green New Deal, so I feel proud of myself about that.
Okay. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos